TAGNBRAG Nation, Rocky family, and Whitetail Institute. Welcome back to episode 6 of Food Plot Chronicles. Now I know what you're thinking. How in the heck are we on episode number 6? I'm telling you folks, summer is flying by. But it's exciting because that means we are just getting closer and closer to getting in a tree and doing it for real. Now we are continuing planting our fall food plots today. Problem is, we got no rain in the forecast, but the time is now to get these plots in the ground. So we're gonna experiment a little bit. David, aren't you always experimenting on this journey? You're right, we are. Today we're gonna try and turn some dirt and see if we can get germination on these plots without any rain. We're gonna be utilizing the moisture in the soil, and we're gonna hope that we get a couple dews overnight that create enough moisture to germinate these seeds. Now, I don't know if we could do it without these Whitetail Institute blends of seed, because they've got something on them called Rain Guard, and that helps these seeds absorb about 200% more moisture than if it didn't have that Rain Guard on it at all. So even though we got no rain in the forecast, I like our chances for seed germination. Now, I think I hear the tractor. Dino's calling our name. Let's go get to work. Food Plot Chronicles, July 30th, trying to get some turnips in the ground. We have like, I don't even know, 7 or 8 more food plots to plant. David's in Tennessee. We got rain unexpectedly coming tomorrow, and then it looks like no rain for like a week, so this should be fun. I'm gonna try to get 2 food plots in today, this afternoon if I can. 3 would be crazy bonus, but you never know, we might be able to do it. It all depends on how everything goes. I am going into one of our food plots that was clover last year. Hasn't been turned in probably 3 years. Not probably. Hasn't been turned in 3 years. Come on, Bessie. So this plot hasn't been turned in like 3 years, and I have the disc on the back of the big tractor because the small tractor, what we normally rototill with, is currently not running correctly. Got someone coming from a dealer to come grab it here this afternoon, hopefully figure out what's wrong with that within 2 days so that we can use it. We like to get our stuff in the last week of July, but the first week of August isn't a bad thing either. We've grown some really good turnips putting stuff in the first week of July, but I have the disc on the back. I don't know how well this is going to turn. I hope it works out pretty good. If it doesn't, I'll try to put the rototiller on the back of this tractor. We haven't done that a ton recently because this tractor is a little bit wide for that particular rototiller. We need to upgrade to something more sizable, and it just doesn't fully cover the tire tracks on this tractor, which is probably being quite anal, but that's me. I'm anal. So this plot, you can see there's still some stuff in here. It's pretty dead though. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to try. Y'all, this was a rough little plot here. I haven't turned this in, I think it's been 3 years, since 2020, 4 years. So it's a little bit of rough ground. The weeds weren't fully
dead yet. So I had to hit it with the tiller several times, but it's a little bit more fluffy than I would honestly like, but it's good. This is good dirt, and the positive thing about this is I'm not going to culti-pack this. I'm not going to even have time to. So I'm going to come back in here, fertilize this, and broadcast the Whitetail Institute winter greens in here. We got rain coming tomorrow, and then there's not much in the forecast the rest of, well, for the next 5 to 7 days. So this is good moist soil already, so we'd probably be all right regardless. But this is an important plot we've been working hard on, and I think it's going to be an important plot come the first week or two of season. So I want to get this planted and get it up and going. I am done. Well, not done. I'm just physically done. All right, just got it fertilized. Pain in the butt. Man, it's quieting down. I gotta get out of here. I keep saying that. But honestly, guys, this dirt turned out a little bit better than I thought. I mean, that is some nice dirt with some organic matter in it. We had some clover in here, so it's all turned into there. Should be good. Some green fertilizer, fertilized it very well, artificially. And we're gonna go ahead and put the winter greens in here from Whitetail Institute. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow, but then it's gonna be real dry. So we're gonna plant a few of these plots when it's dry, but the Whitetail Institute seed has the rain bond. It's got that seed coating on it that absorbs like a crate, like 200% more moisture than just no seed coating. So when you have dry temps and you're broadcasting seed, you have a chance of it germinating with the Whitetail Institute seed. So thank God we have that, because it's going to be dry here the next week. All right, last step. Just broadcasted the winter greens. Now I'm coming in with some imperial clover. This has been a clover plot the last 3 years, and we like to keep it a clover plot. It stays a little bit moist in here, so turnips are usually harder to grow, but we're going to try it this year with the good nutrients in here. And so I'm coming over the top pretty heavy on top of the winter greens with clover. It's not going to do much this year, but it'll establish itself enough to where in the springtime it just lushes right up quickly. And then we got turkey and deer hitting it all summer long. So I'm gonna top it with the imperial. It's gonna be a lush carpet of clover.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back at Camp Cuddy, planting Camp Cuddy, Food Plot Chronicles. So, this is what we're about to do today. Give you guys a little rundown, brief rundown of what we're doing today. Yeah. As you can see, it's a beautiful day out here at Camp Cuddy, but the work never stops, it never quits. We got to get back on the saddle. We're going to the trailer plot and we're going to start moving earth. So we don't have time to waste. We don't have time to talk. Let's get in the saddle and let's get this shit on the road. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. Let's just hope nothing breaks down this week, Jerry. No breakdowns. You know that. Ladies and gentlemen, Food Plot Chronicles family, here we are. And we are on the back half of Food Plot Chronies, and I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited because the fall plots are some of my favorite. It's fast growing seed. It's Whitetail Institute. It makes me happy, and we are right smack dab in the middle of planting it all. So this is a plot that we call the trailer plot. We got that 360 blind right there, and it's kind of a unique little plot. We've got a couple oak trees right here. We got apple trees all around, which are actually bearing fruit, which is great. And then we plant, a turnip brassicas blend, probably the tall tine tubers in here from Whitetail Institute. We've never killed a buck in this plot, but we've shot a few doe out of this plot, and there's always deer in here. Always deer in here. So it's only a matter of time. Typically there's a scrape under that oak tree right there, and I actually think the oaks are bearing nuts. One of them at least is bearing nuts this year. They're just getting old enough to where they're gonna start. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Look at all these acorns. That is gonna be insane. That is gonna be insane. I almost want to keep this open, but that oak tree is literally all acorns, which is going to be awesome. But anyway, we got to till this, till it, fertilize it, plant it. Dean came in here, sprayed it. It looks good, and I think this will actually till up pretty easily. The only thing that we're going to be battling is we don't really have a rain in the forecast over the next 5 to 7 days. So hopefully when we till this once at least, the soil is moist enough that we may till that fertilizer in, because if you leave the fertilizer sit up on top of the soil and there's no rain to push it down into the soil and break and dissolve it, you're gonna lose some of that fertilizer. It's gonna evaporate. So if we turn this once and we deem it that it's moist enough, we may fertilize first, turn it one more time, and then plant it, and we should be good to go. But trying to get at least one plot fully planted today, and keep chipping away at the fall blends. That's the goal, that's the mission, that's the plan. Y'all heard it here first. Now let's get to work. All right, kids and coaches, we are back in the trailer plot, and what we're doing here, you can see that we tilled her all up. Looks real nice, feels real nice. It is actually drier in here than I thought, but I think one more turn it'll be wet. Pretty sure it'll get wet right after that. What are we gonna do? You tell them. We're gonna manually fertilize this. Some of our plots they're not big, honestly, and this is a pain in the butt. It's physical labor, and you want to not breathe in fertilizer if you don't have to. But honestly, we can be so much more precise with the fertilizer. Like these little plots that we have that are weirdly shaped stuff, there's trees in the middle of them. We're kind of going in odd areas that getting in with the 3-point spreader is it's just not efficient. Number one, you're flinging fertilizer into the woods and off the plot. It's hard to back in areas. You're matting down your nice fluffy dirt that you just tilled up. So because it's dry, we honestly have no rain in the forecast. So it's kind of crazy to be planting right now, but our soil, when we turn it, it's a little bit moist, number one. And number two, we usually get really heavy dews up here. You can see on some of our Moultrie cameras, like early hours of the morning, you almost can't see anything because everything is just fogged up. It's heavy dew. And when that sets in the wee hours of the morning on this soil, it honestly can be enough to germinate that small brassica seed. And thankfully, we are using Whitetail Institute seed that's got the rain guard coating on it, and it absorbs like I think 200% more moisture than non-coated seed. So in situations like this, that's going to come in handy, because if there's any moisture in the air from that dew or in the soil, it's going to suck it right in and germinate. And that is the difference with your Whitetail Institute wintergreen seed, or any seed, but that's what we're putting in here. Also, as you can tell, obviously we're tilling this with the tractor, but we are not using any heavy equipment to broadcast the fertilizer. This can all be done by use at home that don't have the big equipment to do all this. And that's one of the perks of the fall food plots, is that you can get into a smaller area like this. You can till it or turn the ground, however you're going to do it, however you're going to turn the ground, once, especially if you kill off the grasses and stuff. And then, as Dean said, and as he's doing, manually fertilize this and broadcast the seed. And you don't necessarily, it says, and everybody says with brassicas, you need a cultipacker. And obviously that makes the results a little bit better. But we don't have a cultipacker. We've never had a cultipacker. And we've been growing brassicas for like 7-8 years. So what we're doing, like Dean said, we have to turn this one more time. If the fertilizer is sitting on top of the soil, it's going to evaporate, especially the nitrogen in the fertilizer. All that is going to evaporate, and you're going to lose your fertilizer every day that it doesn't rain. So it's important to get this in the ground before we turn it one more time, and we'll just do a light turn, but it's going to turn it into the soil. The soil under it is moist. That's going to create friction between the fertilizer and the soil. That's going to allow the fertilizer to actually get into the soil. Then we're going to plant on top of it. I think it's going to be a great plan. And once again, folks, this is a experimental process that we have going on here on Food Plot Chronicles. And, you know, right now, you got, like, I'm in the box, you know. Let's draw a little box here. And look at, see the soil? Just dig down a little bit. Look at the change in color between that. Unbelievable. It's got moisture. So I'm in the box, right? I'm in the box. Roger Clemens is on the mound. He's a good pitcher. Used to be anyway. He throws me one of them fastballs, and I am just, ka-ka! And you could see it. Now you can't see it. It's going over the left field. Oh, it just went out of the park. We're just smashing things out of the park here on Food Plot Chronicles, because that's what we do. All right, ladies and gents, I'm gonna broadcast some seed right now. I'm gonna make up my own mixture right here. I want some turnips and radishes in here, so I'm gonna do primarily tall tine tubers, and then I'm gonna mix in the radish, and then I'll probably put about 25% maybe of the wintergreens in here, just to get some nice kale, lush green going on in here. Probably gonna overseed this a little bit, because number one, we are not culti-packing this down, which I know it's probably the most important step, but we're not doing it. I don't have a culti-packer, so sometimes you got to just make do with what you got. And we've been doing it for a long time. And what happens is, the way our soil like turns up, it's not like down south where you have this like literally carpet of like sand soil. It's just fine particles. This is very like, it's chunky, it's clumpy. There's a lot of nooks and crannies, if you see, all in the soil. So this seed is very tiny, and honestly some of these little chunks and nooks and crannies are too deep for this seed. If it falls in there, it might not germinate. That's why we're going to overseed a little bit. But there's so many crevices for the seed to get into, and this dirt like just naturally settles over a day or two, and you get good seed to soil contact, and you'll get germination. So this will be interesting to test out the Whitetail Institute seed. We don't have rain in the forecast for 7 days, literally. Normally we use the rain to literally pack the dirt, pack the seed into the ground. We don't even have that this time. We're going to rely on the moisture that's sitting on top of the soil and the dew that we get from the just from the moisture in the nightfall. So that's going to be awesome to see. We're going to check this in 4 to 5 days and see if we got germination. And that would be pretty crazy. Germination with no rain and no pack. But it's going to happen. Just watch. Here's a little tip for y'all. I take these Earthway bags, you can get them from Moultrie, and if you take like a 4-pound bag of seed, you put it in there, make sure it's all level, you know, shake the bag so the seed's all sitting there level, and I make marks on my bag
to know what 2 pounds is, 4 pounds is, 6 pounds is. And that way when you're doing fall food plots, which that's a lot of the poundages you're working with, at least in terms of brassicas, you can really thread the needle and know exactly how much you're putting down. If you only have like a half a bag of seed left and you don't know exactly how much is in there, got a little measuring tool. You know, it's not exact, but it has done me wonders. I know that. Tall tine tubers. See how small that seed is? And it's blue, it's got the seed coating on it, it's gonna suck in that moisture, but that is a tiny seed. It just needs to slip between 2 little pieces of dirt and it's going to the moon. The radishes. This is about a half an acre food plot, so we're gonna go about a 50%. This is a 1/4 acre bag right here. So the whole thing's going in. With your winter greens, same thing, very small seed, kale, a little bit of turnip in there and rape seed. That's what my concoction looks like. You can see radishes, all them the blue seeds, turnips, green, that kale, a little bit of rape seed in there. Perfect looking mixture. Got a Moultrie Delta on this plot. Honestly, it's been on this plot for quite a few years and it's just been old reliable, so we're keeping it on it. Just had to shift it a little bit. It was facing a creek crossing over there, but there's more of a springtime, early summertime spot in there. We turned this field so they're not in it as much, but I'm moving the camera towards the center of it. There's a couple things I like to do with that. Number one, you can see if what's using the plot, but mainly, honestly, you could monitor the growth and stuff if you're not here a lot like we aren't. See if it's growing. You can see if there's like patches in the background that look like they didn't germinate or aren't coming up good, or if it needs fertilizer. You can use these cameras a lot more than just for deer. Monitor your food plots, see how they're.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting seed in the ground left and right. And I am standing, you guessed it, in the trailer plot. And since we planted this over a week ago, you also guessed it, we have not seen a lick of water drop out of that sky. This plot behind me is dry as a bone, but check this out. We've got germination throughout this whole plot, turning the soil right before we plant and relying on the dew throughout the cooler nights and the rain guard on the Whitetail Institute seed allowed this plot behind us to germinate without any rain. That's insane! Pretty much unheard of, honestly. Now we do need some showers here in the near future. That's only gonna help these plots flourish as they grow. But it's pretty incredible after we experimented with this, the capabilities of this Whitetail Institute seed. That's why we're using it. It makes us better land managers, and our deer hunting is gonna benefit because of it. Now, when I say we're on the back half of Food Plot Chronicles. We only got one more episode to go. We are going to continue planting our fall food plots next week. Still planting with no rain in the forecast. And since this worked, we got high hopes for what's to come. It's been an incredible journey so far, and we can't thank y'all enough for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, follow Rocky Boots and Whitetail Institute, and we will see y'all right here next week for the grand finale of Food Plot Chronicles. I still can't believe we germinated seed without any rain. I mean, there's a bunch of people on YouTube say it can't happen. It's like we just did the impossible. It's like what they say, anything is possible. I guess with Whitetail Institute, anything's possible.